So guys, so farmers, broiler chickens are very sensitive to weather changes. Very sensitive. So this, we said that a structure should be orientated. So please, before you watch this part 2, please watch part 1 first, so that um, we can be on the same page. So we said that one of the reasons to have a well structured and a well thought and a well planned house, or a broiler house, is because, one, ventilation. And we said ventilation is the movement of air within this house. Like how the way in which you build will determine how the air moves inside your house. And you want your air to move like this, like I said, from this direction to this direction, from this direction to this direction. And the more the air moves in from this side, out this side, or from this side to this side, you're gonna make sure that you get maximum supply of your oxygen, because your broilers need a lot of oxygen because they are growing very fast. In order to grow, you need oxygen. You need oxygen in order to grow, because in order for you to break that feed that you are eating, that the broilers are eating, you need oxygen. It's the same principle with human beings. But the thing is, with broilers, they are growing every minute, every second they are growing. So once you've got a problem with oxygen supply, they'll stop growing and develop water belly disease, which we are going to talk about. And when you have a good ventilated house, a well ventilated house, you minimize the chances of having flies. You minimize the chance of having a wet litter, which will attract flies and smell. You basically, you need a good ventilated house to manage your litter. Another thing, okay, so that's that. Now, let's talk about, so that's ventilation. Now let's talk about the material that you need. In fact, before we talk about that, let's talk about, we said that our house needs to be rectangular, right? So the long side should look like this. The long side should look like this. If you happen to have money, you might build like this. Not everyone always has money. This kind of building, it wastes a lot of material, because you need a lot of rafters and a lot of planks and pier lines to set up this structure, because basically you need a lot of this, like that there. Also on the other side, it's very expensive to build like this, but if you can afford it, yes, it's much more stronger and all of that, but it's very expensive. Mine is like this, so it's been built like this. So okay, let's start with the side. The long sides, how should they look like? You should, from the ground, you should have, it's either you are going to build and put bricks there like that, so you put bricks there, you build all the way, but what is important is, you can either, for this part, you can use bricks, or you can use corrugated iron, or which is also called zinc, ne? Some people even use planks. What is important is that whatever that is available, you can use, as long as it's gonna be strong, as long as it's gonna be safe for the birds and all of that. You can use anything. The bricks that you can use, you can even have mud bricks or cement bricks, right? Whatever that is available. I have personally used bricks for this kind of a thing. in my poultry coop. So this is the long side. So another important thing is that the distance from here to here should be 0.5 meter. The reason for that, if it's higher than 0.5 meter, you remember your beds are very short. They are very short. They are almost next to the ground. So what you want is that if you've got high walls, your beds are going to be down there and they're going to struggle to get enough oxygen, especially in when you've got a weather that is very, very dry and very hot. When you've got a very dry and hot weather, you want to maximize any source or of oxygen that you can get. You want to maximize the little that you can get. The little amount of oxygen that you can get, you want to maximize it. So now if you've got high walls, they will be down there and suffocate and not have oxygen. They won't eat, they won't grow, they'll be stressed. Then it means whenever it's hot, you won't have growth. They will eat your feed and they won't grow and they won't eat as much, right? So it should be, some people say it should be any height. Any height is from the floor up to the knee. That's how short this thing should be, this side, right? Yes. And then this should be left. You shouldn't build here. You shouldn't put blocks. You shouldn't put corrugated iron. It should be left open. What you are going to put there is a mesh wire. A mesh wire. You're going to put a mesh wire here. You're going to put a mesh wire. So what you do this side on the long sides, what you do this side, you will do on the other side as well. So, and then the reason for the mesh wire, let's talk about the mesh wire. The mesh wire. The mesh wire, the reason why you put the mesh wire there is that you want that air to come in. So it will allow air to come in. It allows the ventilation to go on. It allows the air to move. Movement of air, right? That's number one. If you had a brick here, wall there, or a corrugated iron or whatever, or planks, then so if you put that there, it defeats the whole purpose of having a house like this. So it allows and also it keeps predators out. Predators out. Things like you don't want birds to move in there and eat your feed and also produce diseases. Feed is very expensive. You cannot afford to waste it. You can't afford to have it eaten by other animals. Most importantly, birds will come in and eat your feed and then they will bring you diseases. And then you're gonna end up losing your flock, right? So that's the reason why you need. Other predators are human beings. You know, thieves, they are also predators as well. You don't want someone to come in and steal there. The thing is, there are two types of mesh that you can put there that I'm aware of. There's a chicken wire. The chicken wire is very good. It prevents bats out, snakes out, and all these other, and even mice or mouse out. But the issue is that someone can come and cut it. So it means if you're going to put a mesh wire there, it means you must have a very good security. But what I've done, I've put a welded mesh there. Personally, I have in my flock, I've got in my house, I've got a welded mesh there, which has been it's very strong. For you to cut it, you must bring something to cut it with, something strong that is probably even electrical. So I've made it difficult for thieves to come in using that. Okay, what happens now at night and when it's too windy? This side, on top of this, you are gonna put what they call poultry curtains. Poultry curtains. You're gonna have poultry curtains there. That poultry curtain, it must open from the top to the bottom. It must open from the top to the bottom. It must not open from the bottom to the top. It must open like this. So when you've got a harsh weather, you've got a lot of wind, but you still need some air flow, then you can open it up to this level and then it's closed here. So what's going to happen is the air is going to come in. So the idea of opening the poultry, let me write it. It's called a poultry curtain. It's a sail basically. They come in different colors, blue, red, white, all of that. So you want that poultry curtain. So the reason why you want it to open from the top to the bottom is that when wind or air comes, let's say it's cold air, it comes in. When it comes in and enter in this part here, it's gonna go to the roof. Because cold air is heavier than warm air, that cold air will start descending and going down. As it goes down to where your chicks are, it will mix with the warm, smelly air, and then it's gonna be sort of like warm, slightly warmed up. By the time it gets to your beds, this is like, guys, imagine being in a house and then immediately you go outside where there is a very cold wind. Definitely you'll be stressed, you'll become sick and all of that. So that's a principle. It's like when you are drinking water. Imagine you are in a very hot place or in a very nice place that has got good conditions. You go out and then you drink something very, very, very cold. You'll be disturbed by that thing. So you want to adjust your. So the reason is you want that cold air that comes in to be mixed before it can go straight to your beds, especially if it's a strong air. When it becomes warmer and warmer and warmer, you can drop this thing further up until you strip it to the floor, and then it stays here, and then you are left with your wall there. When you have to strip it to that level, it means that you have a problem with air for that day. So that air, as much as it's gonna come in, it's not a strong one in any case, because for you to strip it to that level, it means it's not a strong. You are in need of air. It's not much. So whatever that comes in will come in, mix with the air here, and then dry your bedding, and also supply your babies with your chicks or your chickens with oxygen, and then it moves out. So this is the reason. You are gonna see people doing this thing the other way around, allowing securing this poultry curtain at the top and open it from the bottom to the top. It's not right, because it means when you need minimal air, you have to open it here and leave this space up. But the thing is, when cold air comes in, cold air doesn't go up because it's heavy, it's gonna go down. So your beds will be exposed to harsh, cold air that has not been diluted, that can make them to be sick, right? Imagine you are in a car, it's warm in a car, you are driving, and then all of a sudden someone opens the door. That's how it is. You'll be stressed, you'll be cold. That's I don't know how to explain it more, but that's that. So that's what you want. So now this is this side. We are done with this side now. So what happens to the roof? I'm gonna draw my structure this because this is what I've built at home. So on this side, okay, let's finish this one. So we said you can put this. This is a very expensive building to do. So on this side, what's going to happen this side? This side, you're going to have a door here. Your door should be on the shorter side. Then you will use whatever that you want to use there. Use whatever that you want to use there. Use whatever that you want to use there. Let's say you use bricks. So your bricks are going to go all the way to here. That's this side. Then you're going to have your door here. Your door should be on the shorter side, not on these sides. You want it on the shorter side. And then for this one, the way I've built it, it's like this. It goes down like this because water needs to go down. Allow the water to flow off. And then you're going to have, then I have something like this. And then I've got my roofing there, right? So that's how it is. Then I've got my door there. What is this now that I've done? Yeah. I've got my door there like that. So in South Africa, the roof, we use rafters, purlines, and zinc or corrugated iron for the roof. Some other countries, they use different material. As long as it's known to be good for roofing, there's no problem with that. You can use it. There's no issues there. So this is a poultry house. This is a broiler house, guys. This is how a broiler house should be. And let me see if I'm leaving anything out. You know, the way I have built mine, because this side is 20 meters on my coop, and this one is 6 meters. So what I did is, this side is too long not to have a pillar. So what I did, I put a pole here, I put a pole here, and I've got poles in the middle. I've got poles in the middle. I don't know how many. I think every 5 meters I've got a pole that I've put. Got a pole even on the other side, and I've got poles here. I've got poles here. That's how my structure looks. Another thing, the reason why this needs to be rectangular is, like I've explained, you want air to come in this side and come out that side. With a rectangular house, a house that is a square, when you've got few beds, you won't have a much of a problem. But the minute you put more beds there, what's going to happen is that the air will come in this side, but will take longer to get to the other side, such that some of the air won't even escape. So you're going to have this air coming in here. Let's say for that day, the movement of air is only this direction. So the air is going to come in and come in. It's going to take longer to come out there. So this house will not be well ventilated. Some of the air will be trapped inside here, and you're going to allow a buildup of ammonia. And you know the smell of ammonia. There's no one who can stand that smell. You're going to have a smelly coop. You're going to have flies. And once you, because this side is long, it is a distance to move from here to this side. Unlike here, it's shorter to move from here to this side. Yeah? So once it's very long, and some of the beds that are here will suffocate, because it's gonna be the air that moves from here is gonna get tired. It's gonna take time to move from this side to this side. So the beds that are here will struggle to breathe. They will die because of water barrier and lack of oxygen. And also the litter that will be this side will also be wet. You won't have a problem this side. Let's say now the next day it changes. The wind is this direction. The same thing's gonna happen this side. So you don't want that. I've been to a farm where this side is even 3 meters, guys. No, I'm not even lying to, or if it's not 4 meters, this side needs to be really. It's very nice, guys, when you can easily move from this direction, from this point to this point. And also when you are moving inside the house, the coop, it's easy to just walk in the middle, and you will have access to all your feeders and all of that here, and all of that. So that's the material, guys, that we use in South Africa. And I'm gonna have part 3 of this as we are continuing, guys. That's part 2. This is very important, guys. I'm gonna spend a lot of time on this topic, the building. It's very important, because you can invest and invest only to find out that you are investing in a business that is not well thought, and then it fails because you've got these issues. Guys, I'm gonna tell you about my story. Last week, I started experiencing sudden death at the farm.